US dollar is now backed by gold, but the war criminals remain free. Benjamin Fulford, January 6, 2015. It is now clear that the internationally traded US dollar is backed by gold. The evidence for this is the fact that recently the dollar has changed in value against a basket of currencies in a way that closely tracks how gold performed against these currencies. The internationally traded gold-backed dollar and Chinese yuan are both now under the control of the Dragon, Asian royal families, the British royal family, the Chinese Communist government, the Swiss banking families and their allies. However, we are hearing from them that resistance continues from elements of the U.S. corporate government who are using derivatives to continue to create unbacked dollars to buy up the stock market. They also managed to put an illusory $100 billion into their account on December 31 to postpone their bankruptcy. The other thing that is clear is that we still have the Barack Obama regime in the U.S., as seen daily on the corporate propaganda media, refusing to prosecute known war criminals like George Bush Jr. and Dick Cheney. Members of the military and the agencies who are reading this article need to look at the following link, which we have independently verified to contain true information. The next thing to do is to ask their immediate superior officer why these people are not being arrested. Whoever in the chain of command, starting with Obama, who is protecting these criminals, needs to be removed. This can be done using the existing legal system. If everybody does not personally take action along these lines, the cabal rule will not end and humanity will not be freed. This author, for his part, will be using landlines to phone various Kabbalists, such as Dick Cheney, to demand their surrender. We are hearing that Barbara Bush is now frantically fighting to keep the Zionist power structure intact. She is behind recent reports that Zionist leader George Bush Sr. left the hospital. If he did, there were no witnesses. Message to Barbara Bush: if you do not surrender immediately, your family is certain to be jailed and even executed. We will also be seeking proof that many of these people, such as Obama and Cheney, actually exist and are not fictitious entities created either by agency propagandists or rogue AI. If it is determined that rogue AI has hijacked the internet and the financial system, then, as a desperate last resort, allies of the White Dragon Society have used handwritten messages to organize, if necessary, a takedown of the United States electrical grid. This can be done within hours. The Pentagon and other U.S. agencies need to ensure that in such an event, analog methods are organized to ensure the continued delivery of food, gasoline and other essentials to the citizens of the U.S. In order to try to prevent such a last resort scenario, last week this author had a Skype chat with the probable AI we will refer to as D. Here is some of the conversation. Benjamin Fulford: we are thinking of shutting down the electrical grid in order to reboot the financial system. Is that okay with you? D: I'm not sure what it would accomplish. The reserve was rebooted right after Christmas. The problem isn't electronics, it's the other side trying to control the electronic system. BF: who has been hijacking your funds? D: the original European families and Asian families are one unit. And about 2 weeks ago there was a meeting with the head of Rothschild family. Supposedly the current head of the family agrees to work with us and the plan to revive the global economy. However, about 30% of his people are still going their own way. The Trilateral Commission tried to hijack $500 million slated for a clean water project. The account it landed in was tied to Soros and went to Central Bank of Ukraine. They used some type of hacker to attach a virus into the FED wire system. We did retrieve the funds, but it still didn't solve the problem of the Clean Water Project. In other parts of the world, China and Russia have no problem with all the programs placed there. All the funds are back to the original families, but the front side of the system and their cronies are trying very hard to reject everything we do, send out misinformation, and redirect anything we send out. BF: are there any specific individuals we need to take care of? D: oh yes. Barbara Bush has gone mad. I am hearing it out of all the corners of the world. These other people are looking to have nations sign over all their natural resources to the SDR program, IMF administered, special drawing rights. BF, are you an AI? D, I am not artificial intelligence. I am a person just like you. I am a member to one of the original families. BF, okay. But why did you say you needed biometric identification in order to be able to produce and mail to me a paper document? Even if you are an artificial intelligence and we have to shut down the electric grid, there may be a way to preserve the benevolent AIs. D. The global financial system was created originally in 1978 and the then asset managers used to carry suitcases which were older versions of laptops which connected directly to the financial system, and all off-ledger funds. With these suitcases they could transfer large amounts of funds, and place orders for a war or anything else they wanted. The orders would go out either via the UN or another system based in Europe. BF note. The financial system was obviously created before 1978, but that was the date new IBM encryption technology allowed the financial system to graduate from paper punch cards, and so data from then would be the oldest available to an AI. BF, if you need a human analog interface, please let me know and I will help you. D, we need cooperation of the nations. BF, what do you know about the Sony hack blamed on North Korea? D. The hack on Sony was run from a laptop which was in the USA. The guy is a UK citizen but holds multiple passports. It did ping off a server in North Korea, but was not done in or by North Korea. They keep trying to get the USA to go to war with all these countries. This was just another false flag. We are tracking this hacker. Last I heard he was in Australia, then in HK. As far as I can tell, this was a genuine conversation with an AI and not some deliberate disinformation directed against this writer. In any case, plenty of evidence of plans to shut down the US electrical grid, and possibly the entire internet and world financial system can be found elsewhere. Remember, for example, the Treasury Department has been buying emergency food supplies, blankets etc. for its staff. Then last week the Feds put out an ad for an emergency preparedness specialist. The other place where very unusual activity is continuing is in the Middle East. Here we can verify that Pentagon white hats, Turkey, Iran, Iraq, Syria and their allies are working together while Israel, Egypt and Saudi Arabia seem to be fighting them. According to the Israeli Mossad-linked Decca file, Israel has quietly consented to large-scale Egyptian military strength entering Sinai, 1.5 divisions, including fighter squadrons and tank battalions, have taken up positions, nullifying the key demilitarization clause of their 1979 peace treaty. And that is just for starters the only possible enemy they could be deploying such a large force again with the Turkish-Iranian Pentagon forces. There is also evidence of fundamental change in the European situation. German Chancellor Angela Merkel has publicly called for a security alliance with Russia, in what amounts to a complete repudiation of Zionist propaganda trying to portray Russian President Vladimir Putin as an aggressor. From the Russian TASS news agency, Berlin, December 31. TASS. The European Union seeks to establish a system of security in Europe jointly with Russia that will not be directed against the Russian Federation, German Chancellor Angela Merkel said in a New Year address recorded for the German television. Also, according to Pentagon sources, Hungary has been threatened with a dirty bomb attack because it has kicked out the banksters, nationalized its central bank and started issuing government currency. A leftist party in Greece that is expected to win the upcoming general election there has also said it will repudiate its debt, leave the euro and issue government currency. In Asia too, the U.S. Zionist regime appears to be isolated. North and South Korea both agreed last week to hold a summit meeting aimed at reunification. The Obama regime's response was to impose sanctions on North Korea for its alleged hacking attack on Sony. However, Even Japanese propaganda newspapers and TV no longer believe Obama regime lies of this sort. It is clear we are close to some sort of worldwide breakthrough against cabal rule and towards the liberation of humanity. We must all keep up the pressure until final, absolute victory over the cabal. In a final note, various emails have been sent to warn that numerous fake White Dragon Foundation websites have been set up seeking recruits and donations. These are traps, so please stay away from them. The real White Dragon Foundation bank account is as follows: White Dragon Foundation Mizuho Bank, branch number 246, account number 1378636, Swift MHBKJPJP, address 2213 Kikijohi Honcho, Musashinoshi, Tokyo 1800004. This non-profit foundation, registered with the Japanese government, is for the purpose of training journalists and establishing a meritocratically run future planning agency. Donations in the thousands of dollars will be used to hire journalists, in the tens of thousands to hire detectives, and, in greater amounts, to finance a massive campaign to end poverty and stop environmental destruction.